Hello everyone, Sheik here with another review, and today I'll be reviewing the Star Wars Clone Wars General Grievous 6-inch action figure and the Transformers Star Wars crossover General Grievous wheel bike. As you all are probably aware, I almost never do anything other than Transformers, with the few exceptions of like some Power Rangers in the past and a little bit of G.I. Joe. But Star Wars is really cool, and although I do love the franchise, I don't have much in the way of characters from it. Mostly Boba Fett and, well, droids and stuff, because, you know, robots! Anyway, this is obviously General Grievous from the Clone Wars, not the newer Clone Wars series, the first one that they did back in 2001, it looks like. But obviously very stylized General Grievous. I do believe they created him before episode 3 came out, so that's why a lot of people didn't like what they did to him in that, because he was such a cool character. Anyway, very stylized. Look for that cartoon. The Clone Wars are brought to life in a unique animation style that captures the drama of this epic period. Jedi warriors lead clone troopers in a battle against the evil separatist forces. And this is a 50th anniversary type thing to commemorate the first 50 years of Lucasfilm with figures inspired by Star Wars Clone Wars. Obviously, he is done in the colors of this version of Grievous. The cape is all white. I do like the colors. I just wish they had decided to use a different mold. Have gone with the made a new mold to more accurately depict this version of Grievous rather than the one from Revenge of the Sith. Other than that, I mean, he looks really cool. Comes with 4 lightsabers. Looks like his arms split. And I must say, the packaging looks very nice, and I am half tempted to hang him on my wall rather than opening him up, because it is really cool. But the box is a little bit damaged, so part of me is like, well, maybe it wouldn't be so bad to open him up, because there is something that I kind of want to try out. I want to see if the lightsabers are compatible with this General Grievous. On a side note about the Transformers from this period, their robot modes tended to suffer quite a bit, but the vehicle modes were generally very on point and looked very cool. And I remember them being a lot cooler in robot mode when I was a kid than they do now. And I think General Grievous was one of the better ones as far as looking good in robot mode. But then again, he is the droid general, so he is already pretty much a robot. So obviously a robot's gonna look better in a robot format than a humanoid or a human character with an organic looking face that's then given a mechanical looking face. So they really didn't have to do much for General Grievous, and his eyes still look somewhat lizard like, which I think is really cool. I got this guy at the Ravenna location in Toy Connection, and got a very good deal on him, like $5. I mean, he is missing the lightsabers, which is why I kind of want to open him up to see if they're at all compatible. And he's also missing the gun, the bullet for this gun right here. But surprisingly enough, he did come with the mini figure for General Grievous. So essentially, on Saturday, I got, this past Saturday, assuming I released this video on this coming Saturday, so it would have been last Saturday that I picked these guys up. So I essentially got 3 General Grievous figures, the tiny mini rider figure for the General Grievous Transformer, the General Grievous Transformer, and a standard 6-inch General Grievous figure. One thing that's kind of funny though is that apparently he had been at the store for like a very, very long time, like years or something, and he didn't even have a price tag anymore. So he was just like, you know what? I guess $5. I was like, okay, cool. The joints are very loose, but considering $5, I mean, I'm not going to complain. But one thing that was pretty funny, since he was in his vehicle mode, I'm assuming at some point in the intervening years, from when they got him to when I bought him, the limbs had probably popped off for the vehicle mode. And I think there was like an arm and a leg and a leg. Like they just, because the legs look almost identical in the vehicle mode configuration, except the arms are ever so slightly shorter. And when I was transforming, I was like, what? Look, why are these? I don't remember him transforming like this. But then I figured out, oh, it's just they're in the wrong position. So I couldn't remember if his arms split when I was a kid. As I remember, I think he might have came with 4 lightsabers. I know he came with at least 2. But it would have been so cool if they had engineered him to have the 4 arms. And I must have misremembered from my childhood, because that was one of the reasons why I didn't want to get the General Grievous spaceship one. One, it doesn't look as much like him in the robot mode because of the spaceship bits, but that he only has 2 arms. And I was like, oh, if I misremembered that this guy had 4 arms, which is why I was always wanting to get this one, the wheel bike. I'd say the biggest gripe I do have about this figure, as far as like, other than not having the splitting arms, is that he has a huge backpack. But like I said, a lot of the Star Wars figures had issues like that with just vehicle mode parts hanging off of them, because they were there mostly to have a very good vehicle mode, which I do appreciate. So I guess they're like the alternators of the Star Wars universe. The gun technically is supposed to be able to be held, but given how loose his hands aren't super loose, but there's no 5mm port, so he can't hold the gun according to the instructions I found online on Hasbro's like database. Yeah, he's supposed to hold it, but he can't. So either remove it or just store it right here, which is sort of the vehicle mode position. Articulation. I do not trust stop motion with this guy at all, with this huge backpack, and then also having loose limbs, specifically the thighs, or I guess sort of thigh rotation. Anyway, head is on a ball joint of sorts. He can look up and down a little bit. He can go a little bit side to side, but he doesn't have the best. Oh, wait, I guess maybe he has a little bit more. Okay, come on. Anyway, but he can look around a little bit, but he can't really do a whole lot. But he can't do a whole lot except look pretty menacing, which I think he does a good job at doing. Arms are on ball joints. Can only go out that far, which is kind of annoying, but it is a ball joint. I guess you technically get shoulder rotation. You don't get bicep rotation. You get forearm rotation, but I guess it's better than nothing. His fingers are on like a double hinge, but I do think it is nice that they still, even though the arms don't split, they still give him 4 fingers and then the 2 thumbs, so that he still has the 3-fingered hands for when the arms would split. So I think that that's a pretty nice detail, but his hands do fold up a bit, but that is also partly for transformation. There's nothing at the waist. You do technically get a little bit of thigh rotation because of the ball joint, but there is no way that he can do the full splits. And also, I forgot about shoulders. The shoulders can do a full 360. You can get a little over 90-degree bend at the elbow. And then legs can go forward that far. Can't go back terribly far. Well, I guess surprisingly far if you go on the side of the backpack, because it is not super wide. So his ball joint does allow for him to go off to the side, but I highly doubt he'd even be able to stand on one leg. You get over 90-degree bend at the knee. There is no ankle tiltage or pivot, but if there was, it'd probably be so loose that he wouldn't be able to stand at all. And then he does have these droid-like feet, which I think is pretty nice if you can actually get him to stand. So it can be done, although with some difficulty, especially just getting it posed without it resting on the wheel. Although in the movie it does scrunch up so it can just ride on the wheels. I don't know for sure if this one can do that, but considering how difficult it was to get to just stand up, I really don't think I want to try that, at least not right now. But something did break off. I wasn't even, at least I don't think I was being really rough with it, but I was trying to collapse the leg, or I guess push this back into here, and it just snapped clean off. As you can see, this one is still intact, but this one isn't. And given that it appears to be potentially more structural than cosmetic, and it doesn't seem to be causing any issues, I don't know if I'll even bother to try putting it back on. Oh, and he just swung out of his seat. That's another thing, is that with the figure, it is hard to get him to kind of stay in there. But like I said, pretty much everything on this guy is like really loose. The only complaint I have as far as the transformation itself being difficult is these things right here, the wheel halves, like how hard it is to get them unpegged so you can rotate them around. Other than that, I mean, the transformation is pretty straightforward. And one thing that I just noticed, he does have a pretty bad case of visible head syndrome right here, but at least you can't really see his face right there. And as long as you're paying attention to the driver and the gun and all that, it's probably not super noticeable. And what I love so much about this vehicle mode and how all this just works together is that the arms and legs of the robot mode work perfectly for the legs of this very weird vehicle. And that is just such a cool thing to me, even though it is a weird, very weird thing. I have a feeling this vehicle was designed with making toys in mind, maybe not specifically a transformer, but I mean, what kid isn't going to want to play with a four-legged wheel thing of death or whatever? Like, I mean, that is a pretty impractical but very cool looking vehicle. But I guess, considering it can drive on the wheels on more level terrain and then use the legs for like jumping and going over uneven terrain, I mean, I guess that does make it pretty versatile. But it is a very odd but cool mode of transportation. As far as vehicles go, I think the crossovers are pretty good, but if you're wanting just a really good Star Wars vehicle, I'd say just get the vehicle. But if you're like me, a Transformers nut, but also like Star Wars vehicles, I'd recommend these. They are pretty fun, but better for vehicle mode. I hope you liked this review, and if you'd like to see more, please click the like and subscribe button to see more. Until next time, have a good one, everyone.